I'm just putting up some hooks for some bird feeders. So I put up a bird feeder the other day out the front of the house because there were these, you know, those brackets that you can hang on walls, oops, for hanging baskets. So there are plenty of those out the front of the house. So I hung a bird feeder off there to see if the birds would take the food, and they have been. But the problem is that they're flying from the trees and shrubbery across the road. So they keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth across the road, and I'm worried that it's not a busy road, but cars do go down here quite fast, some of them. So I'm just worried that a little bird's going to get hit. So I am moving them over here. I wanted to put them here because it's a little bit higher than those basket hooks, so I'm hoping it'll keep them slightly safer from the cat that lives here, but also because I'm hoping this will keep the feeders dry, because the trouble is, especially in the winter, the feeders get wet and then the seed starts moulding, and then if you're providing dirty, mouldy, wet seed, then you're actually doing more harm than good. You may as well not feed them, because if your feeders are dirty, if your seed is mouldy, they can pick up all kinds of things. I can't remember what bird it is. There's a bird here that was not wiped out, but the numbers were drastically reduced because it was getting a disease. I'll have to look it up. And it was caused by them picking up something at the bird feeders from dirty seed. So I don't want to be killing off the birds. I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to feed them, not kill them. So now what I'm going to do, I've been yapping on about this in a couple of videos. I need to move the outdoor furniture under cover. So I'm going to do that now. I'm also thinking about, I don't know if you remember when part of the laburnum had split and fallen. I left the wood down there where the table is. I need to move that. I need to do something with it. I can't just leave it out in the rain. I also need to move this pile of logs. Let me turn you around. I say logs, but then, you know, they're not many logs. The rest are just all the twigs and sticks and everything. So I need to sort those out. But I think before I can do any of that, I'm actually going to have to go back into the open barn and carry on tidying it up. You'll remember in maybe the last video or the one before that, I had started tidying it up. Well, I only aimed to do one of the corners, and I did get that done. But there's mess in the rest of it, and if I need to move furniture in there and other stuff, I need to make some space. I also started going through that huge log pile that he had there, the previous owner, and I don't know why he did what he did. I don't know. Anyway, so I've started trying to go through that, but I got to the point where I was just really fed up because it was all loads and loads of smaller twigs, and I don't know where to store them, or I don't have like anything built that I could easily slot them into. I thought I would tie them up into little bundles, but I can't find the string. I have balls and balls and balls of string somewhere, you know, like the hemp string. I can't find it. It's probably still packed in a box somewhere, and I just don't know where. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those days where it's like, you know. But anyway, yeah, I'm good. So I'm going to move that furniture. No, maybe I should tidy up first. Oh, I can't make up my mind today. I'm like a wet drip. Okay, so you see, I've put a pallet down, but I figured out, so, you know, I left this initially because once I cleared all the rubbish from here, I wanted to leave that to dry out, but I realised that actually water is seeping in under those panels and making this wet, because I think the ground outside kind of slopes downwards, so the rain when it rains, it just naturally seeps in here. So yeah, I put some bricks on the floor, and then I put the pallet on top of the bricks, because then that will hopefully stop the pallet from rotting down. And then I moved, there are two piles of, there's a a back pile and this is a front pile. And then if I find enough wood, oh God, see, it keeps focusing on my hand rather than what I'm pointing at. Then I'll pile another sort of set here. But if I take and then what I tried to do was, this is an old bed frame, so all the smaller twigs I'm trying to pile up there, but it's just really difficult to get in there and pile them up. Oh God, I got knackered. And now when I think about it, oh, why is it so hard? Because I'm not as tired as I was that day, because that took me a really long time to go through all the woods. But let me go over here and show you. So I don't know if you remember, but this gate was across here, and there are like 4 enclosures in this massive area. So no, maybe 3, because I think that one at the back is just one big long one. Then there was this one, and then there's that one there. And you can see that he wasn't stacking anything. He was just chucking it in a big pile. So that pallet was on the floor with stuff piled on top of it, but you can see where this has been on the floor, it's started to rot at the bottom. So I'm glad, actually, I didn't see this until after I'd put the bricks on the floor there, so I'm glad I have done that, because it'll mean that the pallet will hold the weight. But yeah, I was if I angle you down a bit more, so you see I was putting the smaller ones in that box and carrying them over, and then the bigger ones I was popping in the wheelbarrow. But yeah, this is just a really long job. Honestly, I look at it and I just think, oh God, I don't even know where to begin now. Because the good thing was, in this first pile, even though stuff was chucked in, there were quite a lot of the bigger logs that you saw there. But in that back one, it's predominantly the small ones, like small twiggy things, you know. But I do want to clear this area so that I can start piling the stuff that's outside here, because otherwise it's going to start rotting down. I guess they knew that they were selling the place. I think it was on the market for a while. So why would they bother with sorting things out? Just leave it for someone else to clear up. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to try and sort out some of the mess over there. Honestly, I'm looking at it and it is quite overwhelming. Organising is not my forte. I used to be all right at it, you know, but as I've gotten older, and you know, when like stress isn't straight, I don't know. I wonder if, you know, because there have been like a few really horrible things that have happened in the past 5 years, and then I wonder whether, you know, that kind of zaps your system and your ability to do normal things is just reduced. I've never been very good at tidying and organising. Although when I had the motivation to do it, I could do it. I couldn't keep things tidy and organised, but I could get them tidy and organised when I really got fed up of the mess. But this is just a lot. See? It's a lot. So when you combine all of that with all of this, it's just too much. I need to put my big girl pants on and just get on with it. I don't know what is wrong with me today. God. You know what it is? It's because we have to go leave today. We're going to go. I've mentioned before that we still haven't fully finished sorting out our other house. There's a few things left there that need to be sorted out before we can put it on the market. And I don't want to leave. I hate leaving this place. I really hate it. I love it so much here. And I just, when I know I have to leave, I just get in a sulk and I'm good for nothing all day. It's so stupid. One day I'm going to learn to be an adult. It's not happening yet. Anyway, all right. I'm going to go over there, look at all the mess, feel overwhelmed for 5 minutes, then I'm going to get on with it. I'm going to choose one thing and do that. Because that's the only way I can cope, actually, when I've got a lot, when there's stuff that's overwhelming me. I just have to say to myself, just pick up one thing and decide what to do with that one thing. And once that's over, then I can say that to myself again and again and again. And before I know it, it's done. Right. I'll come back to you when I've actually made some progress. Is this something you can rest logs on when you want to cut them, do you think? Haven't got enough floor space to test it here. Hang on. Let me try. Well, I'll try a skinny log because then it's not gonna, if it's not on an even surface, it's not gonna do much damage. Yeah. Oh, well, that's handy. Honestly, it seems like it's falling apart. Anyway, I'm sure it'll do the trick. All right, I'll just put it over here for now. So yeah, what I did was so there were loads of these long, quite long pieces. This one's too thick for me to cut with the little handsaw, but the ones that were all thinner, I've cut them up just so that they can go in a pile and they're out of the way, so I can get to that area and start sorting out those bits and pieces. I think that's enough wood shifting for today. I've come to the point where it's sticks, like the little sticks and only little sticks as far as I can reach. I can see bigger logs, but I can't reach them. So I've run out of energy for that job, so I'm going to move on to something else, because while I was doing that and thinking, oh God, this is horrible, I remembered that someone left a comment on one of my other videos. It was one of the ones where I was like, oh, action stations, okay, I'm going to do all this stuff, but I'm going to try not to be too ambitious. And she pointed out that you said you weren't going to be too ambitious, and then you listed way too many things than you could actually do. I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of what she said. So she was like, well, just focus on 2 things. And if I think back to when I started the video this morning, I think I said something along the lines of I wanted to move the furniture that's outside indoors, because, you know, it's getting ruined in the rain and we're not going to be sitting out anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna go and get those inside. I'm just gonna finish my tea. Bless my husband, he brought me a cup of tea. So yeah, I'm going to clear a patch on the floor. That's why I started cutting those logs earlier, so that I could make a space there to bring the furniture in. But then, you know, you get distracted doing other things, isn't it? Because when there's just so much to do. Anyway, I feel like I've had just about enough of sorting out other people's mess at the moment. Oh God, I tell you, I can't wait until the only mess that needs sorting out in this place is my mess. Not that that's what I'm aiming for, but you know what I mean. Anyway, this is actually still a bit hot, so I'm probably not going to be able to drink it in one go. So I take a couple of sips now, then I'll go and get the table and chairs. No, I'll clean a patch, then I'll go and get the table and chairs. Right, I think that has earned me finishing my cup of tea, so I'm going inside. Puppy, what are you doing? I just fed you, darling. What? What's the matter? Hey? God, she's a greedy beast. She won't come anywhere near me unless she wants food. And then she's all over me. Puppy! See, she's got a full belly. She won't come.